Gary, there was unbelievable scenes at the end of that match. Can you just put it into words?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I think if you look at a game and a way to win a game, that's probably more satisfying than winning a game 6-0 or winning a game 5-0. You know what I mean? So that last minute or that last chance, if you like, to score and to win the game was amazing, and particularly the way it happened. As you think of the game, really, it was a bit of a roller coaster in some ways. I felt we started quite well, and then we had a real spell of about 20 minutes in the first half where we really struggled to contain Sheffield Wednesday. We really struggled to deal with their technical players, and we struggled to get out of our half. In terms of when we won the ball back, we really found it difficult to make 2 or 3 passes to get up the pitch and have any sort of pressure ourselves. So I think at that point we had to change things. We had to change formation a little bit, and we had to put Shea out wide, bring Dave Davis inside and push Michael on with him to make almost like a one-sitter in Gleeson and 2 midfielders. And I felt that worked really well. It just cut the supply line off a little bit to their front players, stopped Bannon and Lee having so much space on the ball, and Clayton, of course, then could play a little bit higher up the pitch. So we had to do that. We got a foothold in the game. I thought we finished the first half really well. Should have had a penalty. I think Jacques flipped the ball to Dave Davis and really should have had a penalty. I was disappointed with that because the referee was in a fantastic position. He's only 5 yards away, but I think he followed where the ball went rather than what happened afterwards, which would have been unfair on Sheffield Wednesday, of course, to have gone in 1-0. But at that point, you've rode a little bit of luck. You've had to change things, and now it's about how you react. And we said to them second half, listen, that's the best they've got, we felt. So can we now see if they can deal with the best we've got? We started really well second half, and just with half an hour to go, we just felt, we're at home. Let's go really adventurous and try and put as many technical players on the pitch as we could. So Dave Davis and Michael came off, which we felt we needed to do. It was a bit harsh on those two, but we felt we needed to do that. It wasn't the type of game for them. And then to put Reece and Jacques Magoma inside the pitch a little bit, and to put Greg on the right, and I thought the players that came on the pitch certainly made a big difference. And then, of course, to go a goal down at that point as well, just as we looked like we were really putting them under pressure, was frustrating. Got the penalty back, good play. I think Lucas backed in, created a second ball for Clayton, who then, he showed a real turn of pace to create the penalty, and then a real bit of character to score the penalty after recent weeks. So really pleased to get back into it. And then at that point, we've basically got all of our players on the pitch. We've got Reece and we've got Jacques as our holding 2 midfielders, which probably wouldn't be something I'd have said too often in the past. But at that point, we've got to try and do it. I think the game, the latter throws of the game were encapsulated in one moment where they cross the ball in the box. Nui hits the bar. We then go down the other end. Clayton wins the ball. Clayton ends up on the floor, I think he did, with cramp. And then we end up breaking up the pitch anyway. Greg, great bit of play. Then flips it back inside to Jacques, who just lofts a little ball into the box. And at that point, I weren't sure whether Lucas would be offside or onside. Arches his back, and it's a wonderful finish, and I'm pleased for Lucas as well, because anyone that said his goal scoring record wasn't brilliant, listen, he's had a really bad injury. He's not played a lot for the last 2 seasons. Probably 35 of those appearances, I'd say 25 of them would have been late subs. But he's a real team player, and I felt as though he showed that today. And I felt as though all the players that came on the pitch today showed why a squad's so invaluable. Legsy's starting, Glee's starting. That's where the players that are not in the side have to be ready to come into the game at any point, even if it's 5 minutes to close the game out or 10 minutes to go and win you the game. And I think that really was a strong message for everyone today. We have to be a team, and we showed that.
And that team that you finished with has given you plenty of thought looking to QPR next week.
Well, I think you could safely say I probably won't be starting with a team that finished the game. But no, listen, we again, you've got to find different ways to win games. And what's been most pleasing for me, I think, is we beat Norwich soundly here. Pressed the ball high up, won the ball back, created lots of opportunities, and played with a real verve and energy. scored 3 good goals. We then go down to Fulham, counter-attack brilliantly, score 1 but should score more, and manage the game excellently. Then have to go to Reading, have very little possession but see the game out and be dogged and be determined and get a point a different way. And then you see today we've had to come from behind. So in 4 games we've picked up 10 points, and we've had to do it in all different fashions, and we've had to do it with all different types of players, which probably gives me more satisfaction than anything else.
And that's probably given the fans a lift. They were excellent today, and that ending is going to get them to come back and continue to support this team.
Yeah, they were brilliant, because again, you know, that's where that first half, for that 20 minutes, you need them to stick with the team, and it can be frustrating for them to see us dropping in and see us not having the ball and see the other team having a lot of the ball. But that's where they stuck with us, and they showed. We showed a real togetherness as a club, I think, today, and I think the fans certainly were rewarded. I looked at one point, and I'm sure there were a few people leaving with 4 minutes to go, so that serves them right.